In John 17:3, it states, "And this is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God," referring to the Father, "and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent." Oh, that's it, guys. Trinity's debunked. Become Unitarian, and good night. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're not done here. All right, so this passage is used by Muslims, Unitarians, and different non-Trinitarian cults, such as Iglesia Ni Cristo, and this is one of their favorite passages to go to. Well, that thunder's loud. Anyway, this is one of their favorite passages to go to, John 17:3. I see it quoted many times, and I thought, you know what? I think I should make a video on this myself, explain it to the best of my ability, and it's not going to end the usage of this passage, but I think it'd be good to make a video on it. There's plenty of videos on this passage also. There's probably commentaries as well, like from years ago, not even from this century, like more medieval or even early church history. But what I'll do is just make this short video. Hopefully, it will give you clear meaning of what this passage is actually saying, and showing you that it's not denying the divinity of Jesus, and it actually proves it. So what we're going to do is what we always should do is start from the first verse. In fact, generally speaking, when studying the Bible, if you're studying a specific book, you probably should have started from the beginning of the book and then read along. But here we're just going to start from John 17 because I'm not going to exegete the entirety of the book of John. I don't need to do that. I just got to stay in this specific passage and show you what it's actually saying. So verse 1, Jesus spoke these words, lifted up his eyes to heaven, and said. Now, first thing to point out here is Muslims now have a problem when they quote this, because instead of praying in the Muslim way, which is to pray prostrating, your face on the ground, with your arms forward, your back end in the air. I think not necessarily, but like almost like an what's it called, an incline. Your body will almost make an incline, maybe. So, but instead, Jesus is looking up to heaven. He lifted his eyes to heaven. Here we have Jesus praying in a non-Islamic way. So already, when a Muslim quotes this, they have a problem. Now they're going to say, "Oh, well, this is corrupted," which I'll mainly say that this is a circular argument, because you're starting with your source, the Quran, and then everything that contradicts the Quran here, you're going to say, "Oh, well, that's corrupted." But these parts, these are the true parts. So anyway, let's keep going. We're still in verse 1. "Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son, that your Son may also glorify you." Now, when we glorify God, we glorify him in the sense that we're praising him, giving him worship. And God can give us glory, but not in the sense of worshiping us. Okay, that was loud. So God won't worship us. He may give us certain glory, as in, we'll get rewards in heaven in that sense, but he will not glorify us in the same way we do. But here it seems like Jesus is saying exactly that, to glorify me in the same way I glorify you. Now, that might be a bit of a stretch, so we're going to keep reading and see what it actually means. Verse 2, "As you have given him authority over all flesh." Wait a minute. All flesh. Wait, who other than God has authority over all flesh? Now, people are going to say, well, it's Jesus is authority. He has authority over all flesh, but God has authority over him. But wait a minute. It says all flesh. Jesus is flesh, right? But he has authority over all of it. That's pretty much the same kind of authority God has over all of it. While Jesus would only have authority over part of his flesh, part of, we'll say, all other flesh, since God, on their view, has authority over him. And I think the incarnation comes as a topic here because since he's given authority, we have to consider the fact that Jesus has humbled himself, made himself nothing, made himself to a servant. So of course he's given authority. Anyway, we'll keep reading. That he should give eternal life to as many as you have given him. And this, okay, now we're at verse 3. And this is eternal. Wait a minute. And this is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent. So there you go. This is where Muslims start saying, hey, this is Islam, because in Islam, God sent Jesus as his messenger. But wait a minute. First of all, who's the God here? It's the Father. And in Islam, Allah is not a father. So this can't possibly be Allah, all right? So this passage backfires against Islam. But not only Muslims quote this passage, so I got to address all of them. So we're going to keep reading and see what this means. Now, one thing to point out is the Trinity doesn't teach multiple gods. So saying the Father is the only true God, well, that doesn't contradict the Trinity, because the Trinity is teaching one God shared with three divine persons. Anyway, let's keep going. Verse 4. I have glorified you on the earth. I have finished the work which you have given me to do. And now, and this is sort of talking about the incarnation here, alluding to it. And now, O Father, glorify me together with yourself, with the glory which I had with you before the world was. Wait a minute. So Jesus is he's asking the Father to glorify him together with the Father. That's not proper grammar, I don't think, but he wants the Father to glorify himself, that they're glorified together. He wants them to be glorified together. And with, what is that glory? The glory which I had with you before the world was. Oh, wait a minute. So Jesus, not only is he claiming pre-existence before the world, but he's saying that he has the same exact glory as the Father before the world even existed. So what is Jesus saying here? He's saying that only the Father is God and then you only worship the Father. No. In fact, he's identifying himself in this passage as God. So one thing to remember is when quoting a passage, make sure you know the context. Make sure you know what the surrounding verses are saying, because if you don't, then you're gonna not understand. You're gonna get weird meanings that the text is not actually saying. So read in context. God bless.